Okay, Six Nations in review. Right, the Italians showing some good signs. Conor O'Shea's got a lot of hard work ahead of him, but their youth development, their under-20s, are ripping it up in their version of the Six Nations this year. Admittedly, they finished last. They lost all 5 games. They got the wooden spoon again. But they showed signs in all the games that they are willing to now. They've got a backline now that can actually run with the ball, pass the ball. Bonnie, okay, he missed a couple of games to injury, but he's been outstanding. Bellini on the wing's been quite good, and Minozzi at fullback. Minozzi, for a guy who's only 5'7", has got amazing strength and speed and skill. He's one of the players of the tournament. I think he's the best fullback of the tournament because he was consistently selected every game and he performed every game. Note the press have done their team of the tournament. Not a single English player gets in it, but an Italian player does. That says something. So Minozzi, brilliant, outstanding young player, great future ahead. Now we get to England, the team that finished above them, and actually got a couple of wins. Danger signs were there from game 1 that things were not right. Okay, they beat Italy in the first game, but Italy could have got the bonus point for 4 tries. They just missed out by 1. But the tries they did score came through the wide channels where 13, 14 or 13 and 11, depending which way the winger was. They came through those channels and exploited them very, very well. Because Eddie Jones couldn't decide between Ben Teo and Jonathan Joseph. Could not decide. And both have their qualities, both have their deficiencies. Ben Teo has more deficiencies than Joseph, but Joseph I don't think was fully fit. England had lost at the breakdown. Scrum penalties went up. Handling errors, poor decision making. Also, I have questions with Eddie Jones being the attack coach and the overall coach. He's got to have some more. He's got to delegate more. He's got to find an assistant coach who can deal with the attacking side of things. And England's selection policy, they are relying on a lot of players who are at club level. Their clubs aren't performing this season in the English Premier League. Exeter and Newcastle. Exeter are a known quantity, but they're not getting their players. Their players are not getting selected for the national sides that they represent enough. Especially the England national side. They are dominating in the English Rugby Premiership at the moment. Not getting enough international players selected. I don't understand why. When their players are proving they can do this at this level. And Newcastle Falcons, barely any players getting selected for the England side. They're 4th. So 2 of the top form teams in the Premiership, not getting enough players regularly selected. Now I know Exeter have got some players, Jack Noel, for example. I'm just using him as an example because he's one of my favourite players. Fine, but not enough of them. So England's selection policy, they're relying on Harlequins a lot. Harlequins are not the side they were. Robshaw, Marler and Brown. All 3 of those players are not playing well at the moment. Marler keeps getting suspended. Robshaw, I don't know what his back row position is because even he doesn't know. Neither do the coaches. He's not an out-and-out 6. He's not an out-and-out 7. He's not an out-and-out 8. He does a bit of all 3. He is a decent player, but they've got to say, right, look, you've got to focus on being a number 8, being a number 6, being a number 7, and just focus on that role. Mike Brown is well past his best. And then we have to go look at discipline. That bust up in the tunnel at Murrayfield. Stupid. Of course, Owen Farrell at the centre of it. Again. Owen Farrell does a lot of these things. Little things. But God, they are coach killers. Anyway, England have got problems at breakdown, discipline and selection. And coaching. There's your problems. They've been exceptionally up, but it's a good thing they've happened this year and not next Six Nations. There is time to fix these issues this summer, this autumn and next Six Nations for the World Cup. I don't think teams want to peak now. Teams want to make their mistakes now rather than next year, and this is vital. The issue is, though, another issue is too many leftovers from Martin Johnson and Stuart Lancaster eras. For the last 8-10 years, there's too many leftovers in this squad that need to just be told you're not being selected anymore, you crap. Or you've had your chance, you failed, give someone else a chance. That's basically how brutal it's got to be. I'm not one for saying drop these players. I can be critical, but I think it's time for some of these players just to go out. I think international rugby are past the best. They've got to realise they might have gone on a year or two too long in an international jersey, playing at such intense level that their bodies cannot do it, and their minds. Other players like Mario Itoje also need a break. He is exhausted. For a young lad, he's been overused and he's burnt out. He needs time to recharge, and just take some time off. When he gets released back to his club have got to give him some time off because his club are overusing him and his country are overusing him and his form is just nosedived. He's a brilliant player, but his confidence is shot. He's given away so many penalties. That's silly. And he's looking physically and emotionally and mentally just shot. He needs a couple of months just rest and recuperation. Alright, now we got onto the French, another team in absolute carnage. Jacques Brunel, I don't rate him as a coach. I really don't. He made Italy worse. He's left a lot of structural problems in Italian rugby that Conrad Shai's got to fix. Secondly, his team's discipline off the field is appalling. So 9 players thrown out the squad under his saying you're not playing under me ever again. Some of your better players like Picamol and Flankar and Teddy Thomas being told you can't play for me while I'm in charge. I don't think Jacques Brunel's going to be in charge. The French job very long, but that shows a lack of respect for the coach. The fact that Bastareaud has been their best player this tournament says something. Now Bastareaud is actually surprisingly a good player, much maligned. He's exceptionally skillful for a big man, and at the breakdown, as he proved against England, absolute machine. He is basically having a ninth forward on the pitch who is a battering up, and he's now proving that he can do 80 minutes, which years past he couldn't. He's actually slimmed down just enough. But no one knows how true VB he actually is. He's exceptionally powerful, and he's got very quick hands for a big man. He's far more skilled than people give him credit for. But that is a worry that a destructive player like that is your best player. And he showed the most creative flair. They've gone through too many fly halves. Trinh-Duc was the best out of a bad bunch. Trinh-Duc is a decent fly half, but he doesn't get enough game time in the top 14. And there's a problem with this. French top 14, I've watched a game of the top 14 recently, just to give us a bit of... I like watching club rugby occasionally. And the commentator says this. I think it was Cast Racing 92, or formerly Racing Metro. Top 14 game. I think it was Cast only had 4 French players starting in the French in the league game in their starting 15. 4 French players. Racing had not many either. That is damning. That is an indictment of the French problem. Not enough French players playing top level minutes at top level clubs. Too many foreigners. It's basically the equivalent of the English Football Premier League. It's the French top 14 rugby. Now we get on to Scotland. Jekyll and Hyde team. The lack of consistency is a problem. Their performance consistency. Win or lose, they're too Jekyll and Hyde. Defence is an issue for them. They have conceded a lot of tries. They're conceding less than they were in the autumn, but the defensive frailties are still there if properly exploited by teams. They are. Again, they're Jekyll and Hyde. Finn Russell has a good game, then has a shocker. And when he has a shocker, normally the whole team has a shocker and they get battered. Wales being an example. Ireland being another one. When Finn Russell has a shocker, the team has a shocker. And there's a reason for this. It's the team around him, his other backs. And when they take the pressure off him, like the Scotland-England game, Scotland play well. When they don't play well. Now with Horn in the side, he's basically a second fly half. He can also play. He's like an Owen Farrell. He's a fly half / centre. He's also a creative player. He has to take, so if he's been selected at 12 to be a second option at first receiver, he has to act like a fly half when he's getting that ball at first receiver. And Finn Russell's just behind him. He gets that ball, he's then got to go, right, I've got to create. Scotland's back row is good and bad. It's good with Hamish Watson because he's just a small wrecking ball. It's bad in their lightweight when they assist in the scrum. They're a bit underpowered, undersized. But again, the problem is they're too Jekyll and Hyde. They're up and down. They're showing all the right signs, and it's a machine that needs to be well oiled to work efficiently. And at the moment, they're stuttering. The signs are there for the improvement in the correct areas, but it's the consistency. It's the same with Wales. Wales, again, Jekyll and Hyde team at the moment, and consistency. They just made advantage of the bonus points more than Scotland. Bonus points were crucial in final finishing position for all these sides. Bonus points were the key, and Wales made use of their losing bonus points very effectively. Very effectively. The issue is Wales had, I think, the second most injuries after the English. They were decimated by injury throughout the tournament. Some of their real, we're talking real depth now. We have to go into the fourth choice fly half depth. They did show that when you were around the Welsh camp, they all took on board the Welsh national message. But at times they were playing a Scarlets game with an Ospreys fly half in Dan Biggar because there were so many Scarlets on the pitch around him. There has to be a Welsh way, and those players have to buy into it a bit more because the Scarlets combinations were beautiful. And players like Josh Navidi, who I did highlight, when he played decent. When he played, he was very, very good. But they've got to get Tipuric playing more 80-minute matches rather than just 20 minutes here, 15 minutes there, or starting for 50 minutes and coming off. The fact he's going to play sevens at the Commonwealth Games is possibly a sign of where he may be going down. Maybe he doesn't get to start so much as a flanker or number 8 in the Welsh setup anymore. Faletau coming back from injury helps. But again, they're Jekyll and Hyde. Because it is what it is. That try against England that was called off by the TMO. How crucial was that? That choice to kick for the posts instead of a touch and go for the try, and they ended 12-6 rather than trying to go for a win. How crucial was that as well in the team's development? Because not only were a lot of players missing, it gives Warren Gatland and then his successor, which I believe is Rob Howley, a future plan for some of the younger players coming in. What happens if that decision happens at World Cup and a win is, the bonus points, how it all works out, or wins, or how it all works out, like they do in England, like what England did at the World Cup, where they made a foobar, and ended up with a draw against the Welsh, which proved crucial. Decision making, and they're a Jekyll and Hyde team. Injuries will have disrupted them, but they're still a Jekyll and Hyde team because they play well in some games and play badly in others. And this is why the Irish win the Grand Slam. The Irish, I mentioned all the other teams, are all Jekyll and Hyde. They've all got good and bad points, and the consistency is not there. Ireland are. Not only are they consistent, they're a juggernaut, and their youth development. These young players seem to slot in, like Joey Carberry at fly half when Sexton comes off. It seems like he's been there for a decade. He hasn't. Jordan Larmour played well when he came on. Stockdale breaks a try-scoring record. These young players, the Leinster Musketeers, for example, but it's all full promises of Ireland. It's just how they've got two players in each position on the pitch. Because as soon as one goes down, another one can slot in. They have depth that they didn't have before. And a lot of these players were inspired to play the sport because of the 2009 Grand Slam. Ireland are the only side, I think, in the Northern Hemisphere, or maybe in the world right now, who can take on the All Blacks and actually give them a go. Because South Africa are in a mess. Argentina are still getting their national side right with the Super Rugby franchise they've got. Australia, okay, on their day, on a Bledisloe Cup day, they might beat them. Might. England are nowhere. Ireland are the best bet for a team to beat the All Blacks right now. They're on form. They've got the squad to do it. They've got the belief to do it. They've done it before, and I'd be hard pressed to say that any All Black will be sitting easy going. That's going to be an easy game like it used to be. But the only thing I can say is have Ireland peaked before next year's World Cup? I don't think they have. There's a possibility they might have, but we'll have to see in the summer, the autumn, the next Six Nations. So this time next year, we're going to have this debate on this channel. We can have this debate. What are the Irish hopes for the World Cup? But they're so far ahead of the rest of Europe. So far ahead. They're streets ahead. That their national side right now is a machine. They've got so many players at the same time playing so well as a unit. And these players can come in, these young players like a Stockdale, like a Larmour, like a Carberry, can come in and slot in seamlessly as if they haven't been away from the side or they've never been away from this national side and they've only just got into it. It's amazing. And then at the same time, some players have been brought through because of the last Grand Slam. Now hopefully it's not so long. They've won a lot of the Six Nations in between then as well. They've been the most consistent side over the last decade in European rugby. Apart from the 2007 World Cup where they were at a disaster, didn't play well at all. 2011 World Cup they were decent, quarter-final exit. 2015 quarter-final exit. They just need to get over that knockout game. But for international matches played, they haven't lost many. There's a reason why they were so far ahead at the final reckoning, at the final round of matches. They had already won the tournament and they went on and beat the English at Twickenham. There's a reason why the Irish are where they are. It's their young players coming in. It's the experienced heads that are already there. The leaders already there of winners. And all four provinces now. Connaught used to be the hopeless, the whipping boys of the Pro 12 back in the day. They're not anymore. They've won the Pro. They've now won the Pro competition, which is now Pro 14. They won it, I think, the year before Scarlets did. So now that you've got 4 strong Irish provinces rather than 3, and then the other one that players don't want to play for, they're now attracting players to play there, and they're also in a very Gaelic amateur association sports area like hurling and Gaelic football. They're now attracting that rugby player, which 10, 20, 30 years ago socially would have not been acceptable. They're breaking down barriers as well because of the success of the national side. Kids want to take up the sport. So there you go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, place your comments below. I'll have some more videos for you soon. I will be doing a specific video on the England rugby side because I'm going to rip into them. And thank you very much for watching, and see you soon.